It is 11:38. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Makwanda, on this 11th May 2022. All right. I'm joined now by a psychotherapist, Sheikh Saeed Malizani, who's going to be giving us insight on Project Sawubona, a new groundbreaking mental health, family, and marriage platform for Muslims. I think a platform like this here is necessary and very much needed in our communities. So, to tell us more, here is Sheikh Saeed Malizani. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, and shukran for joining us once
Wa
again.
salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having me.
All right, now tell us, what is Project Sawubona all about?
Okay, so this project basically is looking at Muslim mental health, and we're also looking at the issue of families and marriage because, as we know, there's a lot of problems around there. As a psychotherapist, I've been talking to a lot of people, and there's a lot of issues surrounding Muslim mental health and families, as well as marriage. So this project it seeks to make mental health affordable and accessible to all Muslims, so that it will be easier for them. They will know who to see, who to meet, and also the other aim of this project is to make sure that we have a lot of foot soldiers, so to say, people that are on the ground that can be meeting people, raising awareness, removing the stigma. And we also wish to train as many counselors as possible, people that are going to be able to help people, Muslim mental health advocates that are going to help as many Muslims as possible. We want to reach as many households as we can in South Africa, inshallah.
Inshallah. Now, what inspired the idea?
I've been counseling people for some time now, since I became a psychology student,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been overwhelmed with the number of people that come to me and they need help. And sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't, because obviously in the beginning I was just a student. And the other issue was, not everybody can afford counseling or therapy because it is expensive. So even we're talking at an average of 500 rand per session, a person needs, let's say, 10 sessions. That is 5,000 rands. A person has to budget for 10 sessions of therapy. And mind you, not everybody uh, affords to pay that amount of money for therapy. And so I realized that I need to duplicate myself, and we need
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that it is easy for people to afford therapy. They must not, a person comes, he's suicidal. Now I can't turn him away because he's suicidal, but he doesn't have the money. So that's what inspired the Project Sawubona. That how can we help people? How can we? They know that mental health is not a problem, and how can they know that seeking help for mental health is not an issue, and how can they afford it? So this what really inspired me, talking to a lot of people, uh, getting into their shoes and feeling what they were feeling.
Mashallah. Now, we do have a big problem with the stigma attached
Yeah.
around mental health, and it's not just in the Muslim community, but communities across the board. How can we break this stigma, or at least try to reduce it a bit, so that we can go out there and get the help that we need?
The first thing we are trying to do as Project Sawubona is to involve imams and sheikhs who are in the masajid and Islamic centers, because people
Mm-hmm.
listen to them on a daily basis and people respect them. So if we involve them, and if they start talking to people, they start discussing mental health from the minbar, then they should be telling people that no, mental health is actually mentioned in the Quran, and it's mentioned in the Hadith. The prophets, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Yaqub, and others, they underwent through depression and stress, because of stressful situations that were there around them, and obviously we know how they overcame them. And the Quran tells us all these the secrets are there in the Quran. The Sahaba used to come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam again and complain, and he also used to give them solutions. So we are saying that if imams get involved, community leaders, if they get involved and they tell people that there's nothing wrong with mental health or mental illness, and there's nothing wrong, and it doesn't mean that if you have stress or depression, your iman is low, or it doesn't mean that you're a bad Muslim. So you must not feel ashamed. You must go out there and talk to a psychotherapist, talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor, talk to anyone who can help you. So we need to start in the masjid on the mimbar. Start talking about some movement. Project Sawubona is a movement that we want to reach every masjid and every household, so people can start. We start looking at mental health from a different perspective. So we remove the stigma as much as we can. So from our side as well, besides the masajid, we're going to do a lot of educational programs so that we can, so to say, reprogram the mind of the Muslim into seeing mental health differently, inshallah.
Inshallah. And I'm glad that you mentioned that you will be taking it to the imams in the masajids, etc. Because I feel like there hasn't been a much talk about this coming from our leaders, our community
Yes,
leaders.
yes,
And if it's going to be coming from someone, it needs to come from them. People need to
yes,
know that you don't just have to go and make sober. Yes, we make sober,
yes,
but you don't just
yeah,
make sober and then the problem gets fixed. No, it
yes,
doesn't just get fixed like that. There is
yeah,
a whole process that one needs to go through in
yeah,
order for one to get the help that they require. So
yeah.
I'm glad that our imams will be involved, and we would like to see this happening across the country, because people really do need help.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier about volunteering and training. So who can volunteer, and who will be trained, and what's the process?
So the process is very simple because we need to make everything accessible. So what is happening is people are sending me the numbers, and I send them the information, and they volunteer. So anybody can volunteer. It doesn't mean that you have to have a qualification in counseling or psychology. You can volunteer and say, I want to help. So say, for example, you want to help in organizing, or you want to help in any other department, or you want to be a fundraiser, whatever you want to become. So people will be trained, imams will be trained, and other people who are not imams again will be trained into becoming these Muslim mental health advocates, so that at least they are like Muslim mental health first aiders that can understand basic things like depression and stress, and be able to help the people, so that the people don't wait for one therapist somewhere else. So we're going to train as many people as possible, inshallah, throughout the year, every year, so that we can cover as much ground as possible.
All right. And what platform will it be available on?
And at the moment, we still putting the brains together to brainwashing. Brainstorming. We're still bringing people
Mhm.
together who can help us to do this thing, because I can't do this work alone. So once that is done, I think the first process will be to go to the people, to take this project to the people, whether it is their masjids, whoever allows us to come in and discuss this project. We go to their masjid, we go to their Islamic center, we use Facebook, we use social media, and then later on, inshallah, we're going to create a platform online, that so that those people who cannot access our courses or our training somehow, then they can access us also online. So that we want to, like I said, we want to cover much ground, so we have to do it in person, and we have to do it also online, inshallah.
Inshallah. And when can we expect the first pilot project?
As soon as Allah allows us, because we're trying everything so that we can move as fast as possible. As I'm speaking, my inbox is full. People
Mhm.
want to volunteer, and people want to be healed. So I feel overwhelmed with this work. So that's
Mm.
why we need to start training people, and start the ball rolling as soon as all systems are in place, inshallah. So we're looking at the end of this week or beginning of next week, having um, we have for now an interim committee, but by then we'll be having, inshallah, a proper committee. Then we can start the ball rolling and see what we can do next, inshallah.
Inshallah. All right, Sheikh, shukran so much for your time. But before you leave, please leave us with the contact details on how people can go about volunteering.
Okay, so people can send me a WhatsApp message or call me on 061-420-4712, 061-420-4712, or they can visit my pages and can leave me an inbox message, inshallah.
All right, shukran once again, and jazakallah for coming up with this project Sawubona. May Allah make it a success.
I mean, Jazakallah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum. All right, Sheikh Saeed Malizani, psychotherapist, taking us through Project Sawubona, which will be starting soon. It is a groundbreaking mental health, family, and marriage platform for Muslims. So, inshallah, it will be taking flight very soon, and we look forward to that. For anyone who is interested in volunteering or training, becoming a field worker, an auxiliary worker, well, basically becoming a Muslim mental health uh, uh, um, first aid practitioner, if you would call it that. You can call Sheikh or send a WhatsApp message rather to 061 420 4712. That's 061 420 4712. And you can also share your ideas and your expertise, where you can assist, and what you can do as well to ensure that this project does become a success, because this is definitely something that we need in our communities. Mental health is not a problem that only affects certain people, or a certain group of people, a certain race or class, or whatever. No, it affects every single one of us. In fact, at 12:35, I'm going to be chatting to Shuhaida Adam from Islamic Careline about anxiety in children. So obviously, mental health affects everyone, because if children can have anxiety, then why wouldn't it affect everyone? It is 11:49. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. We will be right back.